Hi, this is Munson from Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can strum through a song called Long Line of Losers by Montgomery Gentry. And we're going to start off with kind of a D major for those steel guitar hits at the beginning. And the way you play D major, first finger goes to the G string on the second fret, second finger goes to the high E on the second fret, and third finger goes to the B string on the third fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And on that intro, it sounds like we kind of start off with a D, and then we do another D, and then we kind of slide to a G major chord. But you could take that shape and actually slide it up to the 7th fret and the 8th fret, and then kind of end up with kind of that G major that way. And then from there, then we kind of slide back to the D major, and then we go to a real quick C major hit. And the way you play C major with that shape is you can slide it all the way to the 12th fret. So now I got 12th fret and 13th fret. And then we slide back to the G major as kind of an intro. So that might be kind of an interesting thing to kind of try, is taking that D shape and then kind of sliding it around. G, G, D, C, G. And then from there, then we go into kind of our main verse chorus, or our main D major lick, kind of for our intro from there. And it starts out on D major, but you'll hear these cool little hits where if you take the pinky and kind of add them in on the high E on the 3rd fret, that's something called D sus, or D suspended. And another D chord you hear is like from the D major, if you lift it off the 2nd finger, which is always a dangerous finger to lift, and strum the top 4 strings, that's called a D sus 2. So there's this cool, crazy cool little intro lick where you kind of take the D, and you may want to do this on all the D chords actually through the song, where you do the D sus 2 and then kind of hammer on the 2nd finger into the D chord. So we do a D sus 2 hammer on, and then kind of a down, down, up on the D, and then we go to D sus for a down, D on the up, D sus 2 on the up, and then we go back to D for a up, down, up. So you got D sus 2 hammer on into D, down, down, up, D with sus with a down, up, down, up. This kind of becomes kind of your D lick. We'll talk more about the strum pattern there later on. Now, another way to do it is to just do a strum pattern on a D chord actually for that intro. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So you took the D and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So you can kind of use that for the intro too. Or what Montgomery's really kind of working off of is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down. 1, 2, 1, 2. What a 16th note is where you divide that beat into 2 parts, or 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the D and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And then from that intro, then we go into our verse part, and we start out on D major, and then we go to a G major chord. And another way to play G major, you do first finger on the A string 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string 3rd fret, and the third finger on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now another G you may want to do is taking the 3rd finger and going to the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that's another way you can play the G, and then that way you wouldn't actually have to move that 3rd finger actually in that chain. So it might be kind of a cool thing to do. And then from the D major, we'll be going to an A major chord. We play A major. First finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, The second finger goes to the G on the second fret, and third finger goes to the B string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major. Now on the A major though, it sounds like you could kind of simulate that D lick from the beginning by lifting off the third finger for kind of an A sus2. And you could even kind of take the A major and add in the pinky for an A sus. So if you're kind of digging on that lick, you can do the A with the sus2 with kind of that hammer on, and then the down, down, up. A sus on the down, back to A on the up, back to A sus2 on the up, back to A on the up, down. So on the A, you might want to think about using that lick actually, especially if you're doing the 16th note. And then from there we go back to D, and then we go to a G major, and then we kind of half a D major, and then an A major. And at least on the first verse, we do just kind of a big down on the D, but later on we kind of fill that in. So we tried that with our down, down, up, up, down, up. The weird part is where that D and the A are, we'd end up just doing a down, down, up on those chords. So we'd have D, down, up, down, up, G, down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, up, G, down, 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 up, D, down, up, A, down, up, D. Or if we were kind of trying that with the 16th pattern, D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, D with down, 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 up, A with a down, 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 up, and then you now something else you may want to try is using those D's and the A licks. So you can have D, too. Now something else that I like to add to a song like this too is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, or the down, 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 up, down, down, up, you can throw in bass notes for the chords. So on the D you'd have the D string for your bass. On the G you'd have the low E string for your bass. And on the A you'd have the A string for your bass. So we try to our verse chorus progression that way. We could have D with a D bass, down, up, down, G with the bass, down, up, down, D with a D bass, down, up, down, A with an A bass, down, up, down, C with a D bass, down, up, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, down. But on the same chorus, it's like we're hanging out on that D for just a second longer. So we try that with our 16th pattern. You have D with a D bass, down, down, up, down, down, G with a D bass, down, down, up. That form for the rest of the song. So you may want to kind of take a little bit of all those different things that we were talking about and kind of try and put those together and kind of figure out how you want to cover the song. It might be kind of cool to kind of play around with all those ideas. But that's the basics of how you get strummed through Long Line of Losers by Montgomery Gentry. So good luck!